All right, obviously that winter or that weather impact alert for today due to the winter storm that we're going to be seeing later on this morning. I think the arrival of really starting to see a lot of that winter precip coming down across the area is going to be sometime during the mid-morning hours, getting closer towards that early afternoon. I think when is really we could start to see that most of the activity picking up. We take a look at radar early this morning. You see most of that activity that we've been taking a look at, that's across central Missouri. We're still building that energy of what our winter storm is going to look like. I think you could still find a few flurries there across the state line, parts of Benton County. A few reports coming out of Pea Ridge. Already seeing some of those snowflakes along 49 there, maybe seeing a few of those snowflakes as well. Again, across the River Valley for at least the first half of this winter storm, we're going to be dealing with more of that wintry mix between some sleet, some freezing rain, and just some of that regular rainfall, at least for the beginning half of it. By the time we get to this evening, mainly everybody is going to switch over into just that snowfall. We have that winter storm warning in place across northwest Arkansas, winter weather advisory and winter storm watch across the River Valley. This is all for the winter precip that we have coming for today. But by the time we get to tomorrow and Thursday, that's when we're dealing with some very dangerously cold temperatures. Again, we're going to be hyper focused on what the winter precip is going to be like later on this morning into the early afternoon, especially this evening is when we're going to see a majority of the impacts. Then after that, starting this evening, really into Wednesday and Thursday, those wind chill values, what it feels like outside, are going to be at some dangerous levels. On Wednesday, anywhere between those single digits down to -10. On Thursday, a range between -5 and -20 will be possible with what it feels like outside. This is a look at the Winter Storm Severity Index. It's a big fancy term for what the severity is going to be like today. Northwest Arkansas, Benton, Carroll County, parts of Washington and Madison County, that's where most of the major impacts are going to be because of the higher chances of higher snowfall accumulation. As you work further south into the River Valley, more of those minor impacts expected because we're not expecting much in the way of those high snowfall accumulation totals, but rather a moderate amount of snowfall mixing in, though, a lot more of that sleet. When it comes to travel today, again, the morning commute hours was never the issue. Really, the issue is once we get to this afternoon and especially this evening, after we've had a few hours of that accumulation, that's when travel is going to become very tricky this evening and into tomorrow. We look at later on this morning around 9-10 a.m. That's when we'll really be seeing those winter weather impacts across the area. First starting off with a lot of that sleet, a lot of that freezing rain across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. But as we get some cooler air to work in, that's where we'll first transition over from that sleet over into that snow across northwest Arkansas. But that cooler air continues to filter in throughout the day. So by the time we get to this evening, you see that freezing line still separating parts of northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, where we're going to see mainly sleet and mainly freezing rain south of I-40. But once you get into northwest Arkansas, you'll start to see those snowflakes. By the time we get to this evening, though, everybody is going to transition over into that snow, and that's going to continue throughout our Tuesday evening into early on Wednesday morning. By the time we get to 1-2 a.m. on Wednesday, we are finally done with the winter precip, and then it becomes how cold it's going to be outside. Another factor to consider today is when we have that winter precip coming across the area, it's going to be a light, dusty snowfall, and with the winds attached with that, wind gusts right around 20 to 30 miles per hour, visibility is going to be an issue as you're out on the roads. Then you'll have to deal with the accumulating snow and also what the visibility is going to be like with the blowing snow effect later on this evening with wind gusts right around 20 to 30 miles per hour. Let's look at the accumulation forecast of what we're expecting. Parts of extreme northwest Arkansas, Benton and Carroll County, 8 up to 12 inches of snowfall will definitely be possible now that that track has started to shift a little bit further south. Across Washington, parts of Madison, 4 to 8 inches of snowfall will definitely be possible, especially as you get into some higher elevation there in the Boston Mountains. Across the River Valley, in and along I-40, 2 up to 5 inches of snowfall will definitely be possible, but we're going to mix in a lot more of that sleet as well. And far south of I-40 there in Scott and there in LaFleur County, a trace up to 2 inches of snowfall will be possible, but there's more of a concern of that freezing rain, anywhere from 1/10 up to 1/4 of an inch of some of that rain, some of that freezing rain leading to that ice accumulation will be possible. That's going to cause some slick spots. That's going to cause the chances for maybe a few power outages here and there. After this system pushes through, the concern then turns to how cold it's going to be outside. That's why we have those alerts already in place across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. When we take a look at Wednesday, those wind chill values, single digits in the River Valley, Valley and well into the negatives across northwest Arkansas. This is going to be immediately after that snowfall is already done for. By the time we get to Thursday, though, this is a really concerning day with a wind chill value range between -5 down to -20 across northwest Arkansas. That is that dangerous cold when you have to worry about exposure. Even into Friday, we're still dealing with bitter cold temperatures outside. Another look at that snowfall forecast. Higher accumulation northwest Arkansas. More of that sleet and snow mix across the River Valley, northwest Arkansas over the next 7 days. Weather impact alert through Thursday. And by the time we get closer towards the end of the week and into the weekend, we finally break back above that freezing point once again. And it's hard to believe because we have that winter storm today, and then it is the coldest air that we are going to feel for a long time through Wednesday and Thursday. But hard to believe by the time we get to next week, we'll be back up into the low to mid 60s.
Wow, we just got to get through this mess first.
I'm ready for the sunshine and more.
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Stephen.
Well, we have extended coverage of this weather impact alert all day. That includes a special edition of 5 News at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Scott Kober will track the snow as our crews check in from all across the area. You can catch 5 News at 3 on Channel 5 and streaming on 5+.
5+ is free there on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. To download, just search 5 News in your TV app store or scan the QR code there for instructions. Our live team coverage continues there throughout the storm.